No, don't fall. Don't fall. Maybe I should just use these four. Is this how you take a thumbnail photo? Hello everyone, my name is Sketchy, and before we jump into the video, I just want to apologize really quickly for not having an upload last week. I'll spare you all the excuses and just leave it at life happens, but I am really sorry, and hopefully it won't happen again. So today I am going to be talking about the two ways of learning a language and sort of my opinions and thoughts on both of them. Hopefully this video is actually useful to you, so it's not just me ranting at a camera about my struggles learning languages. But anyways, let's get started. I believe there's really only two methods of learning a language, and they can be combined, but in the end you've got two main options. And these options are learning through immersion and learning through textbooks. Now, I believe that learning through immersion is the best choice when it comes to learning a new language, because it gives you the ability to learn the language similarly to how native speakers would learn the language. Immersion is when you travel to a country or a place where the majority of people speak the language that you are attempting to learn. This is great because it throws you headfirst into a situation where you literally have to learn the language in order to enjoy yourself, and I'd say it probably works about 70-80% of the time. The issue is that immersion is usually very expensive to do, and it falls out of the range of most normal people's budgets, including me. So this brings us to our second option, which is, that was backwards, I think, textbooks. I have a love-hate relationship with textbook learning. It's great because usually anybody can get access to it, whether it's through a little workbook that they bought from the bookstore, or a free app on their phone, or a class, or whatever the case may be. Usually most people can get access to it, and that's great. The issue I have with textbook learning is it tends to cause what I like to call textbook syndrome. Textbook syndrome is caused by the perfect grammar and limited vocabulary which is presented in language textbooks. Textbooks tend to stick to vocabulary that is only used in really specific situations, such as when you're on vacation, when you're meeting somebody for the first time, or when you're in the classroom. Unfortunately, limited vocabulary like this does not present an accurate representation of day-to-day language, nor does it equip somebody with the tools necessary to actually speak a language, because as we all know, daily life is filled with a lot more than asking for directions, ordering food, and getting to know somebody. Additionally, if a person who learned through the textbook method were to try and have a conversation, they would probably sound really robotic and unusual because textbooks only teach perfect grammar, and the real world does not use perfect grammar 90% of the time. So while textbooks are great for a lot of reasons, they're also terrible for a lot of reasons. When people invest time and money into learning a language, they usually want to come out of it being able to speak the language, but most of the time they just get stuck with vocabulary that can only be used in certain situations. That, and when they hear people speak the real language, they usually get very confused because it doesn't sound anything like what they've learned, and they just end up left in the dust. So if you're learning through a textbook method, whether you're teaching yourself or you are taking a class, you're probably wondering, what do I do now? I want to let you all know, however, that there is a way to overcome textbook syndrome. There's two really cool apps that I use. One of them is called HelloTalk and the other is called HiNative. These apps are great because they let you speak to actual native speakers of the language you're trying to learn, and the native speakers can help correct you, they can teach you different things, they can tell you when your grammar sounds a little too perfect, and just help you overcome all the things that a textbook has taught you that aren't necessarily correct in common language. HelloTalk allows you to chat with native speakers, and there's like a message board. It's not a message board, it's more like a timeline almost, kind of like Facebook, I guess. It has a bunch of tools that are super helpful, such as a translation tool, a transliteration tool, which I'm not sure how to explain, but you know, it's helpful. A speech tool, which like speaks a word or a sentence for you. And then it also has a correction tool, so you can not only receive help, but you can also give help. Hi Native lets you ask questions to native speakers, and it can be about pretty much anything, whether it's their language, their culture, their country, anything like that. Usually it's a general question, but I mean, I guess you could make it more personal if you wanted. I don't know. I just want to say though that this video is not sponsored by either of these apps. I just think they're really helpful. In fact, I use them on a daily basis, and I figure you guys should know as well. They're free to use and they're really helpful. They both offer a premium subscription, but you don't need it in order to use the app successfully. Since these apps let you talk to native speakers, it's kind of like learning through immersion, but a lot cheaper and not as hardcore. I really suggest using these apps alongside whatever you're doing if you're learning through a textbook method, because it will really help you polish your language skills and just make you sound more natural when you speak. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to see new content weekly, and click that little bell icon next to the subscribe button to get notified every time I upload a new video. If you can spare a small donation, check out my Fundly, or if you have the ability to donate monthly, check out my Patreon. Patrons get access to a bunch of extra content, such as behind the scenes photos and videos, live streams, monthly perks, and a patron exclusive feed. If you enjoyed watching this video, then you can check out my last video by clicking on the thumbnail. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.